Hello, I'm Nicolette Amarillas. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. I'm a strength coach and a posture and movement specialist, if you didn't know already. And today I have a full body mobility class for you. We have about 12 movements or so that start off a little more segmented and specific and move on to more dynamic and full body, integrating what we do at the beginning of class into the movement that we do later in the class. Now this workout is great to do on a rest day. Say you're trying to recover, but you still want to move and get your body and blood flowing. Or you could do it pre-workout. So say you're about to do a lift and you want to get the hips and the shoulders more mobile. This is great to do before. It's also great to do in the middle of your day if you're feeling a little stuck, a little bit stiff from your workday being at the desk. Try this bad boy out. We're starting on all fours for a cat-cow. Oh, but before we get there, you're gonna need two bits of equipment. I have a yoga strap. You could use a yoga strap or even like a really thick resistance band or even a belt, something that can get taut. We're gonna be using that to stretch the hamstrings. And then in addition to that, some type of pad for your head. We'll be in a sideline position and I'll wanna have something for you to put your head on. So it could be, this is an ab pad. It could also just be a thick towel or even like a small pillow. Just something for you to be comfortable when you're lying on your side. For now, I'm just gonna set these two things aside because we don't need it right away. First couple movements are just our body. So we're getting on all fours. We're starting off with a cat-cow. Hands are underneath the shoulders and the knees are underneath the hips. Let's relax the feet, the top of the feet come to the floor. From here, you'll inhale and open your body to the floor. Head comes up, stretching the front of the body. Opening up the chest, squeezing the shoulder blades. Exhale. Pull the shoulder blades apart. Open up the chest. Pull the shoulder blades apart and engage through the front side of the body. Inhale, open up. Here we go. Big stretch of the front of the body. Exhale, big stretch of the back side of the body. We're doing 5 of these, that's 2. You're going to want to move faster than how I'm moving, but I urge you to stay with my tempo. There is so much to learn when we slow down our movements. Inhaling. Head comes up, chest opens, reach the hips up and back. Big exhale, pull the shoulder blades apart, tuck in the hips, push through the hands and the knees. One more, inhale. After this, we're going into quadruped hip circles. Exhale, staying on all fours. Let's come back to a neutral position. I'm gonna show you this one first in case you've never done it. Tuck your toes. Same position here, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. You'll drive one knee forward. You'll open up that knee, opening the hip, and then bring the heel to the ceiling, and then drop the knee down, and then reverse. Heel lifts, knee opens and comes forward, knee toward the elbow, and then drop down. We'll do 5 on each side. Again, moving pretty slow. Here we go, 3, 2, and 1. The knee comes forward, opening up the hip, heel comes up, drop down, and reverse. The key here is to just keep the movement in the hips. So try as best as you can to not let the torso open up, right? We don't want the torso to open. We want the torso to stay flat with the floor, parallel with the floor, so that we're keeping the mobility in the hip. That's why we're here. 2 more. Knee comes forward, heel up, drop down. So I'm feeling a mixture of glute work, of stretch through my hips, and I'm even feeling a little bit of core work, and I bet you by the second side I'll start to feel my shoulders too. Now the slowness of this move does make it more challenging. I'm really feeling the work. Ooh, there it is. Okay, other side. Knee forward, knee out, kick it up, drop it down. Up, reversing it, come out and forward, woo, and drop down. We got 4 more. Moving super slow, trying to keep the hip from being the only thing that's moving. Everything else is super strong and super stable. This is 3 here, first half, and now I'm coming back, finishing rep 3, keeping my torso strong, 2 more. Woo, I feel it. This side definitely feels better. My left hip right now is just a little bit angry at me. I've been working pretty hard and I've been trying to release it and mobilize it. So this side feels a little more stable. It's always good to take stock of how our body feels. It's all information that's useful to us, especially when we go into our workouts. From here, we're getting into a glute bridge. You'll be on your back. Now, glute bridge probably sounds pretty easy. Most of us have all been there at some point. But I want to go through it and bring a little bit more intention to it. So arms are at your sides, feet hip distance, maybe about a foot or so from your glutes, knees up. Before you begin the movement, you'll tuck in the hips, so the front hip bone's coming up toward the ribs, like the hip bones and the ribs are trying to kiss or to touch. From here, you'll squeeze your glutes before you even lift your hips. Then you'll lift your hips. That way you're lifting through your hips and not just lifting through your rib cage and your belly, staying drawn in. We're doing 10 of these. 3, 2, and 1. So we'll tuck in, squeeze the glutes, lift, drop down. Tuck in, squeeze, and lift. Bringing more intention to the movement, not just lifting the hips and dropping them, but being really intentional about where we feel it. Now, when you tuck in your hips, you'll feel your low back lightly press onto the floor. That's good. We want that. 5 more. Tuck in, squeeze, and lift. I'm feeling my glutes and hamstrings, the back of my thighs. And then as I lift, I'm feeling a deep stretch through the front of my thighs and the front of my hips. We got 1 more. We'll tuck in, we'll squeeze, we'll lift. Let's hold for 5, because why not? 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop the hips down. Now we're getting into hamstring flossing. This is where you're gonna need either the yoga strap or a belt or a thick resistance band. You'll bring whatever tool you're using to the ball of your foot. So not the toes, not the arch of the foot, the ball of the foot, okay? The other leg is straight on the floor. We'll extend this leg and then bring it maybe like 45 degrees out from your body. Now you'll pull the strap so that your toes come towards your shins. Your arms pulling on the strap is controlling this stretch. Your heel reaches up to the ceiling, and then I want you to tuck in your hips a little bit. So just so that your back is barely lifted off of the floor. From here, you'll pull the strap to pull the leg up. Now, you're not pulling the leg all the way up. When I do this, my back starts to press too much into the floor. I don't want that. I want my pelvis to stay in a neutral position. So I'm only gonna pull a little bit, enough to feel that stretch, and then right back down. Now, I'm not lifting my leg. The only reason my leg is moving is because I'm pulling on it with the strap. We'll be here for 30 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Now you could do this for as long as 2 minutes, and if this feels really good for you today or something like you feel like you really need, pause the video and do it for 1 to 2 minutes on each side. In this class, we'll be doing it for 30. Ooh, I feel a stretch from my hamstring where my glute attaches to my hamstring all the way into my calf. Again, I'm not moving my leg by moving the leg. I'm moving the leg by pulling with my strap. 3, 2, and 1. Switch sides. Ball of the foot, other side, other leg extends on the floor. Pull the strap to pull the toes towards you. Heel lifts to the ceiling, and then we pull. Let's go, 30 seconds. This side definitely feels tighter, so I'm not lifting up as high. And again, I'm using my pelvis and low back as a feedback. If I pull too high, my back starts to press into the floor too much. That tells me I'm pulling too much. I want to be able to keep just a slight arch in my low back and my low back slightly lifted away from the floor. Ooh, that is a deep one. I feel it a lot in my calf on this side. We got about 5 seconds. We'll go for 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and set that strap down. You won't need it for the rest of the class. And now you'll need your second tool, that pad for the head. So I'm gonna bring the pad to the top of my mat, and then I'm gonna get on my side. My ear touching that pad, and then my shoulder underneath with my arms straight ahead of me, palm facing up. From here, I'm gonna sandwich my palms together. My knees are creating a 90-degree angle with my knees and a 90-degree angle with my hips. So just make sure that position is there. The knees are rested on one another. From here, you're going to inhale and guide your hand along your chest and torso, and then reach the elbow down to the floor. Extend the hand, opening up into a T position, really pulling that shoulder down, and then exhale to reverse and come back. And I even like to kind of reach past the hand to get a big stretch to the back of the shoulder. We'll go 5 times on each side. Let's go. Inhale as we open. And exhale as we come forward. Big stretch, reach, reach, reach. And again, inhale. Three more, inhale. I'm opening up my shoulder, really trying to get my shoulder to touch the floor as close as I can, while maintaining my knees being in contact. That's the hardest part. Inhale. I want my knees to stay in that 90-degree angle, and I want my knees to stay attached to one another, and I'm rotating through my torso. This is the last one, opening up, really wringing out the torso. Now, all you have to do is switch to your other side. I'm actually gonna switch to the other side of the mat so that I can be facing you the whole time, okay? We'll do the other side. Remember, hips 90 degrees, knees 90 degrees. Arm flat, palm up, we reach, and then we open, inhale. Reaching that shoulder down to the floor while pressing the knees in the opposite direction to the floor. We got 5 on each. That was 1. 4 more. Inhale. Ooh, that feels good. Exhale as you come up. 3 more. Thinking of our torso kind of like a wet towel. We're trying to squeeze the water out of the towel. So we're wringing the towel out, moving the hips and the shoulders in opposite directions to encourage that big rotation. I might have lost count. I think this is the 5th one. Oops. Inhale. Ooh, I feel even a deep hip flexor stretch on that right side. And exhale. Okay, press yourself up. You can set that pad aside. You're not gonna need it for the rest of the workout. Everything else we're doing today is just body weight. So up next we have a scorpion stretch. This is on your stomach. Now, if you're someone who has maybe like an active shoulder issue or impingement or just tightness, or you're just feeling discomfort there, this one might feel a little bit intense. You could do it and limit the range of motion, or just skip this one. You can just be upright and breathe, or you can even just practice some shoulder mobilities just like this, okay? Until we move on to the next one. You're on your stomach for this one. I'm gonna guide you through this by talking you through it. So join me on your stomach, and then your arms come out into the shape of a T, palms face down. From here, relax your legs hip distance. Let's bring our right leg up. You're gonna bring the right leg up, bend the knee, and then reach the right leg up and over towards your left hand, opening up your hip and pressing your hip forward. You can relax your head on the floor. We'll hold for about 10 seconds. Big stretch through this left shoulder, stretch through the right hip. And then we'll come back down and let's switch. Rest the head, open the chest, feeling a deep shoulder stretch. We'll make it dynamic and continue to switch, alternating back and forth. And again, just working in a range of motion that's comfortable. So if you can't reach your leg all the way back, or maybe you just tap it closer to your other foot instead of bringing it all the way toward your hand, that's fine. So it might be like down here instead, right? Or extended here if being all the way up here is uncomfortable. Movement is always about moving in a range of motion and a position that makes you feel comfortable. Let's go 1 more on each. I really feel the hip stretching. After this, we're coming up onto all fours. And we're gonna shift back into a child's pose. So knees come wide, toes come together, hips sit into the heels, arms extend out in front of you. You can drop your head all the way down to the floor. And I like to claw my fingers forward, continuing to reach to create nice long extension through my lats and through my back. Now, if this feels good, just hang out here. If you want a deeper stretch or get into a rotation, then we can get into a rotation. Make sure I'm still recording. Yes, okay. Now, if you want to get a deeper stretch, we can go into a rotation. Bring one hand and cross it underneath your other arm. Palm faces up of that arm that's crossing under, and then you can drop your head and pull that shoulder down away from the ear, feeling a big stretch through the back of the shoulder blade, or the back of the shoulder along the shoulder blade of that arm that's crossing under. And just breathe through this. Okay, if you did that rotation, let's do the other side. Bringing it underneath. Nice work. Let's unwind. One more time with both arms extended. And then we're getting into a kneeling thoracic twist. You're going to come onto your knees, keeping your hands slightly in front of you with your arms straight. Now, sometimes kneeling on your heels or sitting on your heels can be a little uncomfortable. So you could put a block underneath or a towel or a pillow to make that more comfortable. Hands come out in front of you. Hand will come behind the ear. You'll inhale, open up, creating rotation, and then drop back down. Let's do 5 on each. 3, 2, and 1. Let's inhale as we open and exhale as we come down. That feels good. Thinking about how the elbow's coming back. Let's do one more. There it is. Very nice. Okay, other side. Hand behind the ear. Let's go. So now I'm not worrying about how far I'm going. I'm not worrying about how big the twist is. I'm just thinking about how I'm listening to my body. My body's letting me know how far of a range of motion I have for today. We got 2 more. Inhaling on the way up, exhaling on the way down. Last one here. And then we're getting into the more integrated and dynamic movements, full body, to just incorporate everything that we just did. We're starting off with a modified world's greatest stretch. So we're starting in a hand plank position with the hands under the shoulders, the feet about hip distance, hips tucked in, shoulders down away from the ears. Listen to my cueing and follow me. We'll bring one foot outside of the same hand. Foot is flat on the floor, opening up the hips in like a low lunge. From here, that same hand of the leg that came forward opens up. Hold here for a moment, feeling a deep hip stretch. Bring the hand back down, step back, and switch sides. Inhale the arm up, creating that rotation toward the leg that's forward. Little hold here. Bring the hand down, walking back with legs softly bent, staying in this forward fold. And then walking back forward with the hands and repeating. 5 times. Foot comes forward, open up and rotate. Hand comes down, step back, switch sides. Big hip opener. I love this one. There's a lot of ways I feel like you can kind of make the world's greatest stretch your own. Because we have a couple other full body dynamic moves after this, I wanted to definitely integrate the rotation. This is number 3, and we're going for 5. Walking the hands back, little forward fold, juicy hamstring stretch. We got 2 more. Foot forward, opening up the body up. Now I'm really starting to feel mobile. Like now I'm starting to feel the yummy results of the work. One more time, coming back. Sorry, second to last time coming back, because we got 1 more. Foot comes out, body opens up. Oh, I think this might be one of my favorite stretches. Being in this low lunge with the rotation, love it. Okay, so we're gonna hang out in that forward fold because it's the beginning of our next movement. So let's walk the hands back. Feet hip distance, hang out here. Letting my head hang. Putting weight into my toes, but keeping my heels in contact with the floor. My knees are soft. Really just trying to decompress the spine by stretching out the back of the thighs. Now we'll integrate the next movement by opening up the feet to your squat position, so a little wider than the hips, toes out. From here, let's drop into a squat. Now this looks different for everybody. For me, I can get pretty low. I can keep my chest open. If this is hard, you don't have to drop as low. You could have your hands forward, you could lift your heels, or you could even hold on to something in front of you to help counterbalance. Then you'll just forward fold again. Dropping the hips down, back into the squat. That's 2. We're going to 5. Oh my gosh, I think, okay. What I said, the last one was my favorite. Now I'm feeling like this one's my favorite. I love a hamstring stretch. I don't know about you, but my hamstrings are pretty tight. And I'm someone who's super mobile, but I'm not super flexible. Like I'm not super bendy, I never have been. Always wanted to be able to do the splits, but just was never in the cards for me. Maybe one day. Okay, last forward fold. And then we're gonna walk our hands out now. So because we're gonna get into a down dog. This is our last movement, integrated movement for the day. So feet hip distance, plank position. Reach the hips up as the heels come toward the floor. Push through your hands to push the hands away from your head, dropping the heels, stretching the back of the thighs, opening your chest down to your mat. Hold for a moment. Walk the hands back. Drop into a squat. Inhale and swing the arms up. Drop back down into the squat. Walk yourself out with the hands, down dog. So that's 1 rep. This is 2. Down dog, heels down, hips up. Then bend your knees. Walk your hands back, dropping into that squat. Stand, squeeze the glutes. Feel how the shoulders feel more mobile, reaching up. From what we did earlier, drop down, walk out. Almost there. 3 more. Down dog. Walk the hands back, drop the hips down, squat. Inhale. And exhale, drop down and walk out. We got 2 more. Down dog. Oh my gosh, this feels so good. Walk the hands back. Notice how everything we're doing now totally integrates what we did this entire workout. Even coming into the shoulders and the arms coming up, right? This down dog would not have felt the same coming into the workout initially. Walk the hands back. This is our last one. We'll end in the down dog though. So inhale. Exhale. Walk out and down dog. Let's pedal out the feet a little bit. Heels drop, alternating sides. And when you're ready, drop your knees and come into a child's pose. Couple deep breaths. That felt good. And slowly bring yourself up. Okay, wow, that was a little more work than I was anticipating. That feels really good. So like I said at the top of the workout, enjoy this really whenever you want. I love to integrate this on my rest days. This is a great way for me to feel like I'm still moving and I'm treating my body the way that it loves to be treated, which is with movement, but it also helps me if I'm sore, like it's nothing too crazy. But honestly, integrate it whenever you just feel like moving the body and opening up the hips and shoulders, as well as creating more rotation through the torso. That way you can perform better when you exercise and when you live life. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you being here, and I hope to see you soon. I'm Nicolette Amarillas.